Today, we'll discuss a book that has made millions of people wealthy simply through the power of their thoughts. Yes, we're talking about Think and Grow Rich. There is no other book quite like it, and it's a phenomenon that has stood the test of time, both now and in the future. Don't make the mistake of underestimating this book, because within its pages lie the principles of wealth building that have helped millions achieve financial success through nothing more than thought. And this success could be yours as well. This book will reveal magical formulas to create wealth, starting from nothing, and ultimately leading you to great riches. It won't just tell you what to do, it will teach you how to do it. The author, Napoleon Hill, was inspired by Andrew Carnegie, who began as a laborer in a steel factory and used these principles to grow into the owner of the world's largest steel company, becoming one of the wealthiest men in history. These same principles are shared with you in this book. If you want to build immense wealth using the power of your thoughts, watch this video until the end and don't miss a single point. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. Chapter 1. The Power of an Idea. Let's explore how a person can achieve wealth through thinking, illustrated by the story of Edwin Barnes. Barnes had a vision in his mind. One day, he would become a business partner to the great inventor, Thomas Edison. Determined to make it a reality, Barnes made his way to Edison's laboratory and boldly declared that he was there to become Edison's business partner. At first, Edison didn't take him seriously. Barnes's appearance was far from impressive, and Edison did not immediately offer him a partnership. Instead, he hired him for a low-paying job and gave him small tasks. However, Barnes never gave up on his dream. For years, he nurtured his desire to become Edison's partner, and over time, his dream transformed into an unwavering passion. 4 years passed, yet Barnes's dream had not come true. But his passion only grew stronger. After 5 years, the opportunity he had been waiting for finally arrived. When the opportunity finally came, it arrived in a form and from a direction that Barnes had not anticipated. Edison had developed a new device known as the Edison dictating machine. However, his sales team wasn't enthusiastic about it. They didn't believe it would sell easily. Barnes, however, saw this as his chance. He recognized the potential in a product that no one else was interested in except for him and Edison, its inventor. Barnes believed he could successfully sell Edison's dictating machine. He approached Edison with this idea, and immediately he was given the opportunity. Barnes not only sold the machine, but did so with such success that Edison offered him a contract to distribute and market the product nationwide, and also made him a business partner, giving him a share of the profits. Not only did Barnes earn substantial wealth through this partnership, but he also achieved something far more significant. He proved that anyone could become rich through the power of thought. Barnes had envisioned the partnership with Edison, internalized that idea, and made it his dream. Over time, that dream became his passion. And when an idea transforms into passion, there's nothing that can stand in its way. Barnes had nothing when he started, but his unwavering determination and love for the idea of success led him to place everything he had on the line. When someone is willing to risk everything for their dream, their success is inevitable. Edison, however, wasn't initially impressed by Barnes's appearance, as it didn't align with the greatness of his ideas. This leads us to a key reason why people fail. Often, it's because they quit after facing temporary setbacks. Everyone makes this mistake at some point. Take the story of R.U. Darby, for example. During the gold rush, Darby's uncle set out west with hopes of striking it rich. Equipped with a pick and a spade, he began digging on a piece of land. After weeks of hard work, he finally spotted a gleam of gold. However, To bring the gold to the surface, he realized he would need mining equipment. In a moment of doubt, he abandoned the mine, covered it up, and returned home to Williamsburg, Maryland. He shared his story with relatives and friends, speaking of his partial success. Together, they managed to raise the necessary funds to purchase the required machinery. Darby and his uncle returned to the mine, ready to resume their work. The first batch of ore was sent to the smelter, where it was discovered that their mine was one of the richest in Colorado, America. Welcome to the Story Hub. In today's video, we'll dive into some powerful insights and book summaries that will help you grow. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with your friends and family for more exciting content. With just a few more batches of raw metal, they would have cleared their debts and made substantial profits. The excavation equipment was lowered, and their hopes soared. They were on the verge of success, until suddenly the gold vein vanished. Despite their best efforts to find it again, their work yielded no results. After much frustration, they decided to abandon the mine. They sold the machinery to a scrap dealer at a fraction of its value and boarded a train back home. Later, a scrap dealer brought in a mining engineer to inspect the mine. The engineer quickly identified the issue. Darby and his uncle had been unaware of a fault line in the middle of the mine. The engineer concluded that they were only 3 feet away from a rich gold deposit. His assessment proved correct, as the scrap dealer struck gold worth millions, simply because he sought expert advice before giving up. This story highlights an important lesson. Before achieving success, many people face temporary defeats or setbacks. When confronted with failure, the easiest and most logical choice is to quit. But the real key to success is perseverance. Napoleon Hill, author of Think and Grow Rich, shares that more than 500 of the most successful individuals in the country have stated that their greatest achievements came at the moment when they almost gave up, with success lying just beyond that point. Failure is insidious and deceptive. It often strikes when success is within reach. Now, let's explore an example of 50 Cent's dedication, a story that will leave you stunned. Just as Darby's failed gold mining venture eventually earned him a university degree, persistence in the face of failure can lead to unexpected triumphs. Not long after, he had another experience that reinforced the lesson that no doesn't always mean no. One afternoon, he was assisting his uncle with cleaning at an old mill on his uncle's large farm. The farm employed several black farmers who worked the land on a sharecropping arrangement. As they worked, the door slowly opened, and a young black girl, the daughter of one of the tenants, stepped inside. She stood quietly, and after a moment, the uncle glanced up and shouted, "What do you want?" The girl replied respectfully, "My mother asked me to bring her 50 cents. Without hesitation, the uncle responded, "I won't give it to you. Now, go on home." The girl responded, "Yes, sir," but she didn't move. The uncle, busy with his work, failed to notice that she was still standing there. After a long while, he glanced up again and saw that she hadn't left. Annoyed, he shouted once more, "I told you to go home. Now get going, or I'll beat you." The girl replied quietly, "Yes, sir," but still didn't budge. The uncle, now visibly frustrated, dropped the sack of wheat he had been about to lift and walked toward her, stick in hand, clearly prepared to discipline her. Darby, watching the scene unfold, braced himself, certain that the uncle would lash out in anger. However, as the uncle reached the girl, something unexpected happened. The little girl stepped forward, looked him directly in the eyes, and firmly declared, "My mother wants 50 cents. She definitely wants 50 cents. The uncle paused, looked at her for a moment, and then, surprisingly, placed the stick on the ground. He reached into his pocket, withdrew 50 cents, and handed it to the girl. She took the money and began walking back toward the door, never once breaking eye contact with the man she had just bested. As the girl left, the uncle sat down, staring out the window for several minutes, deep in thought. He had been defeated by the determination of a little girl. What can we learn from this story? We learn that no matter the circumstances or how difficult the challenge may seem, there is great power in standing firm. Perseverance is an unbeatable force. It's the key to success in any field. Always remember this: a person who believes in the power of their mind and has faith in their goals is capable of achieving them. Napoleon Hill, in Chapter 2 of Think and Grow Rich, emphasizes the distinction between a mere desire and a burning, unshakable desire. Desire is simply the wish for something. But while everyone in the world may want to be wealthy, not everyone will achieve it. Wealth doesn't come from mere wishing. It requires something more. The key is a strong desire. A strong desire is a longing that consumes your heart and mind, a yearning that drives you to take action, to the point where it becomes an obsession. But what does a strong desire truly mean? Let's explore this concept further. Consider the example of a great warrior from history who found himself in a dire situation where victory was the only option. He was about to lead his army into battle against a much stronger force. Upon arriving on the enemy's shore, he had his soldiers unload their weapons and supplies, and then, in a decisive move, he ordered the ships they had traveled on to be burned. Before the battle, he addressed his men and said, "Look around. The ships are burned. This means there's no turning back. Either we win this battle or we die. There is no other choice." This act of burning the ships symbolizes the idea that every individual pursuing a goal must be willing to cut off all options for retreat. By doing so, you ensure that the desire to succeed becomes firmly planted in your mind. This burning desire will be the fuel that drives you toward your ultimate success. Edwin Barnes, who became Thomas Edison's business partner, is an excellent example of this unwavering desire. Barnes was more determined than anything else to work with Edison, so much so that he made a clear plan and took decisive action to achieve his goal. Barnes burned all the bridges behind him by fully committing to this one objective. When he set out to meet Edison, Barnes didn't say to himself, "I'll try and see if Edison offers me some kind of work." He didn't allow for any other option. Instead, he declared, "I will meet Edison, and I will tell him that I want to do business with him." He didn't entertain the thought of failure or the idea of seeking other opportunities if this one didn't work out. He was fully committed, saying to himself, "I will achieve my business partnership with Thomas Edison, and I will burn every bridge behind me. I will stake my entire future on the belief that I have the ability to achieve my goal." With this declaration, Barnes left no room for failure. His commitment was absolute. His situation was do or die, and that resolve made all the difference. Now, let's explore the 6 steps to turning desire into tangible wealth. Practical methods to transform your strong willpower into real financial success. Step 1. Clearly imagine the exact amount of money you desire to achieve. Simply saying, "I want a lot of money," is not enough. Be specific about the amount, as there is a psychological reason behind setting a precise figure, which we will discuss in the next chapter. Step 2. Decide what you are willing to give in exchange for that amount of money. Understand that nothing is gained for free in this world, and success requires a trade-off. Step 3. Set a specific date by which you intend to achieve the desired amount of money. This deadline creates urgency and commitment. Step 4. Develop a clear plan outlining exactly how you will achieve your goal. Once the plan is in place, act on it immediately, whether you feel fully prepared or not. Step 5. Write down a concise statement detailing the amount of money you want, the timeline for achieving it, what you're willing to give in exchange, and your plan of action. This written statement serves as a clear, focused reminder of your goals. Step 6. Read your written statement aloud twice a day, once before bed and once upon waking. As you read it, feel and believe that you have already achieved this goal. This exercise reinforces your belief and intensifies your desire. It's crucial to follow these 6 steps, particularly Step 6, as a part of your daily routine. To underscore their importance, we can look at the example of Thomas Edison. He thoroughly understood and endorsed these 6 steps. Edison believed that this principle was essential not only for accumulating wealth, but also for achieving any goal. Everyone who has achieved significant wealth has first dreamed of it, nurtured those dreams, committed to a strong desire, and developed a plan. You should do the same if you aspire to wealth. Never belittle the dreamer or allow others to convince you that dreaming is foolish. To achieve great success in today's world, you must follow the path of those successful individuals from the past whose dreams brought tremendous value to humanity. If your goal is just and you truly believe in it, then go ahead and pursue it. Keep your dream firmly in mind and ignore the judgment of others about your temporary setbacks. People often fail to see that behind every failure lies the seed of success. Thomas Edison, for example, dreamed of creating a bulb that would burn with electricity. He failed 10,000 times, but each failure brought him one step closer to making his dream a reality. Eventually, his vision came to life. True dreamers never give up. The Wright brothers envisioned a machine that could... Interestingly, when Marconi first shared his discovery of a principle that would allow him to send messages through the air without wires, his friends had him committed to a mental hospital. This shows that history is often shaped by those considered crazy by others. It is the dreamers who challenge the limits of what is possible and leave their mark on the world. Consider the examples of Beethoven, who composed music despite being deaf, and Milton, who wrote great plays despite being blind. Their names remain immortal because they dreamed big and turned those dreams into systematic, focused action. Helen Keller, who was born deaf and blind, became one of the most inspiring figures in history, proving that no one is truly defeated unless they accept defeat as their truth. Napoleon Hill, the author of this book, shares a personal story about a business associate who faced a life-threatening illness. Despite the doctor's grim prognosis, the patient's strong will to survive played a critical role in his recovery. The doctor later admitted that the only reason the patient survived was his unwavering determination to live, rejecting the possibility of death. Without this resolute will, survival would not have been possible. This story underscores the power of strong will and belief in overcoming even the most difficult challenges. I firmly believe in the power of strong will, because I have witnessed firsthand how it can lift individuals from poverty to the heights of power and wealth. This force has the remarkable ability to defy even death, enabling people to survive against all odds. I have seen people who, despite facing hundreds of failures, eventually succeed because they refuse to give up. Before we conclude this chapter, I want to share 2 important truths with you. 1. The brain has no limitations other than those we impose upon it. 2. Both poverty and wealth are products of thought. The choice of which one you bring into your life is entirely dependent on your mindset. Chapter 3. The Power of Imagination. Napoleon Hill famously said that a person can create whatever they can think and imagine. Let's explore this concept with an example. What would I do if I had $1 million? This true story proves the old adage that where there's a will, there's a way. It's the story of Frank W. Gunsolis, a late American educator and religious preacher. While attending college, Gunsolis noticed significant flaws in the education system. He believed that if he were in charge, he could fix these problems. Determined to bring his vision to life, he decided to create a new college, where he could implement his innovative ideas, distinct from the traditional system. To fund this project, he needed a substantial sum, $1 million. But where would he find such a large amount? This question occupied his mind constantly, but no solutions seemed to present themselves. However, he was undeterred. Every night, he went to sleep with the thought of $1 million on his mind. He woke up each morning with that same thought. No matter where he went, the idea of $1 million consumed his thoughts. This obsession grew stronger each day. Though he didn't know how he would raise the money, Gunsolis refused to abandon his dream. While others might have given up, he pressed forward, believing that his idea would eventually become a reality. Here's what happened next, recounted in the words of Dr. Gunsolis himself. For nearly 2 years, I had been consumed with the question of how to raise the money needed to bring my plans to life. For 2 years, all I did was think. But now, the time had come to act. I made a definitive decision that I would raise $1 million within a week, although I had no idea how I would accomplish this. What mattered was that I made up my mind. The moment I made that decision, I felt a strange sense of reassurance that I had never experienced before, as if something inside me was saying, "Why didn't you come to this decision much earlier?" The money would come in due time. Things began to move quickly. I contacted the press and announced that I would deliver a speech the following morning titled, "What Would I Do If I Had $1 Million?" I immediately set to work on preparing the speech, but to be honest, it wasn't difficult. I had been mentally preparing it for almost 2 years. By midnight, I had finished the speech. I went to bed feeling confident, imagining that I already had that $1 million in my possession. The next morning, I woke up early and rehearsed the speech. I was so excited that I completely forgot to bring my notes with me. When I arrived at the venue, I realized my mistake. But forgetting my notes turned out to be a blessing. Without the notes, I relied entirely on my subconscious mind. When I stood before the audience, I closed my eyes and spoke from my heart and soul. I shared my dreams, explaining in vivid detail what I would do with $1 million if it were in my hands. I described the great educational institution I intended to create, one that would teach practical skills and simultaneously develop the intellectual capabilities of young people. After finishing his speech, Dr. Gunsolis sat down, and to his surprise, a man from the third row slowly stood up and walked toward him. Curious about what this man wanted, he watched as the man approached the stage, extended his hand, and said, "I liked your speech, and I truly believe that you can accomplish what you described if you had $1 million. To demonstrate my belief in you and your ideas, I'm willing to give you $1 million. Meet me at my office tomorrow morning." The man introduced himself as Philip Darmore. True to his word, the next day, Dr. Gunsolis went to Armour's office and was given the $1 million. With this funding, he laid the foundation for the Armour Institute of Technology, now known as the Illinois Institute of Technology. This true story reinforces the power of thought and desire. The $1 million came to Dr. Gunsolis as a direct result of his idea, fueled by 2 years of persistent dreaming and desire. More importantly, the principle that brought him success still holds true today. The same concept that worked for him can work for anyone willing to apply it. Whatever a person can think and imagine, they can create. Chapter 4. Dedication to Success. The key to success lies in one essential word: dedication. In 1915, a woman named Fannie Hurst arrived in New York, determined to become rich through her writing. For 4 long years, she struggled, walking the sidewalks of New York by day and dreaming by night. As hope seemed to fade, Fannie didn't give up. Instead of saying, "Okay, Broadway, you win," she told herself, "I will make you accept me." After facing rejection from numerous publishers, receiving 36 rejection slips, only one of her stories was published. An average writer would have given up after the first rejection, but Fannie Hurst's unwavering dedication kept her moving forward until she achieved her goal. For 4 years, Fannie Hurst struggled, facing rejection and feeling that success was out of reach. Yet, despite the challenges, she persevered, and eventually the floodgates opened. The spell was broken, and opportunities started pouring in. The invisible force guiding her had tested her resilience, and she had passed. Publishers began seeking her work, and money arrived so quickly that she hardly had time to count it. Not only did her financial situation improve, but her name became synonymous with success, as the film industry also took notice. Fannie Hurst's story is a testament to the power of dedication. When you persist, no matter how long it takes, success eventually comes. The key is perseverance, the habit of continuing to move forward even after multiple failures. Those who consistently rise after setbacks, who keep pushing forward, ultimately find success. Then, the world applauds and says, "We knew you could do it." Remember, failure is not the end. It's merely a stepping stone toward success. Dedication and persistence are the keys to achieving great wealth and success. Those who understand this are the ones who reach the highest peaks of success, no matter how many times they stumble along the way. Chapter 5. Systematic Planning. Even the most intelligent people cannot achieve success or wealth unless their plans are realistic and actionable. When your plans fail, don't see it as permanent failure. Instead, consider it an opportunity to reassess. A short-term setback may simply indicate that your plan wasn't strong enough. The key is to adjust, make new plans, and start again. Remember, if you stop before reaching your goal, you are retreating, and those who retreat never succeed. Always remind yourself of this. Fugitives never win, and victorious people never run. Write this phrase on a piece of paper and place it somewhere visible, where you can see it every night before bed and each morning when you wake up. It's not the most knowledgeable lawyer who wins the case, it's the one who prepares and presents the case the best. The same principle applies to your goals. If you plan thoroughly and present your efforts with confidence, you're already halfway to success. Those who avoid risk and rely on shortcuts often end up with only what's left behind. Excessive caution, just like recklessness, can be detrimental. Striking a balance is key. Life always carries an element of risk, and understanding both your strengths and weaknesses is crucial. By knowing your weaknesses, you can work to overcome or avoid them. Recognizing your strengths allows you to highlight them effectively when offering your services to others. The only way to gain this insight is through self-analysis. Chapter 6. Faith is the belief in the realization of your desires, the unwavering confidence that you will achieve what you set out to accomplish. So why is faith so essential? The answer lies in its power. Faith, along with love and desire, are the strongest positive emotions. When these emotions are combined with an idea, they amplify its power. Together, They create a direct path to the subconscious mind, where ideas take root and eventually become reality. This is why faith is vital. Only when you believe in your goal can you plant it in your subconscious, where it begins to manifest. If faith is crucial, the next question is how to develop it. The answer is simple: repetition. Through autosuggestion or self-suggestion, you repeatedly impress your subconscious mind with positive instructions. It's a well-known fact that whatever a person tells themselves repeatedly, they begin to believe, whether it's true or not. If you repeatedly tell yourself a lie, eventually, you'll accept it as truth. The key is to allow thoughts to dominate your mind, especially those that align with your goals and desires. By consistently reinforcing your thoughts, plans, and goals, you plant them firmly in your mind. This is why, in Chapter 2, you were instructed to write down your main goal, memorize it, and read it aloud daily, until the vibrations of your words reach your subconscious. Always remember, thoughts imbued with strong emotions, particularly those mixed with faith and belief, are the ones that transform into reality. Chapter 7. Autosuggestion. What is autosuggestion? It is the practice of giving ourselves suggestions, either positive or negative. Autosuggestion acts as a bridge between the conscious mind and the subconscious. To better understand this, imagine the subconscious mind as a garden. If positive seeds are not planted, negative, unproductive plants will flourish. Autosuggestion is the method by which we consciously plant positive, constructive thoughts in the fertile ground of our subconscious. However, if we neglect this process and allow negative, destructive thoughts to dominate, we hinder our potential. When reading your statement of desire aloud, it's important to remember that simply reading the words isn't enough. For true impact, your words must carry strong emotion and a burning desire. The subconscious mind responds to thoughts that are accompanied by strong emotions and a determined will. If you believe you are defeated, you will be, because that is the message you are sending to your subconscious. If you think you lack courage, you will become timid, because that is the belief you are reinforcing. If you desire success but convince yourself that you cannot succeed, failure becomes almost certain. Conversely, if you think of yourself as someone who can rise and achieve great things, your subconscious will act in alignment with those thoughts. You must believe in your ability to succeed to manifest that success. Remember, in the journey of life, it is not always the strongest or fastest who wins. Often, it is the one who truly believes they can win who ultimately triumphs. This book is not meant to be read only once. To fully absorb its lessons and apply its principles, it should be revisited repeatedly. Through this process, you can tap deeply into the power of your thoughts and harness them to elevate your life and achieve wealth, taking it to new heights. I hope you learned something new and valuable from this video and that you liked it. Friends, liking this video doesn't matter to me as much, but from my heart, I say that making such videos takes both time and effort. When you like and comment on the video, it feels like our hard work has helped someone, and we'll keep making such great videos. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Story Hub, and share this video with your friends and family. For more book summary videos, make sure to follow me. Until then, stay happy and always keep your family happy. Goodbye.